Hey guys, Zedd here, bringing you another Soul Calibur 6 Xianghua video. Today I'm going to talk about Full Cars 3A and the reason why I think it's Xianghua's best move. It's like second to none, honestly, and why I think Xianghua players need to use it more. I'll explain how I use it, why I use it, and my reasoning for it, and how it actually gets me many wins, both casual and competitive. So Full Cars 3A, as a reminder, is a 2-hit natural combo on regular or counter hit. It is a low high, and it looks like this. So it does 24 damage, and it is a while crouching move, so you do have to either be in a crouch state, or from the neutral, just input it as quickly as you can, like so, right? That's Full Crouch 3A. It has 3 follow-ups. You can do Full Crouch 3A, A, Full Crouch 3A, B, and Full Crouch 3A, A, hold. So here's Full Crouch 3A, AA, AB, and A hold. Like that. Now, the only one of these follow-ups that I think is pretty worthless, I don't really ever use it, is the AA hold. Other than that, I do actually use the other two a fair bit. Now here's the deal with Full Crouch 3A. It is a super fast low, and the animation is quite subtle in that it looks a lot like what you're about to do when you do Full Crouch 3B, right? Because they'll hear the clink of the sword from you hitting guard. They'll see Xianghua kind of do this twitch crouch, animation. And so the opponent may feel more inclined just to regular block, right? Just instinctively. They're not even going to be able to think about it because of how quick it is, but instinctively they're just going to want to block because they don't want to eat the the insta full crouch 3B, right? And if you get really good at this, she just kind of bobs her head and that's all you get. And when you're in the neutral game, you can make it come out even quicker. Like, you're just walking around and then all of a sudden, boom, right? So, but what they're going to hear is your sword going clink, 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 and that is actually part of the metagame. So this is the first, my first point is, dare I say, it's almost better for the opponent to play against Xianghua with no sound, or in a competitive setting to play with no headset. Because as soon as you hear that, right, you're not going to want to eat, oh, sorry, you're not going to want to eat this, right? So the opponent will block regular. Now, like, this is the thing. I have asked players that I play with offline, and I've asked them, like, is it a conditioning thing, or like, what is it that gets you about it? And they're like, well, it's a conditioning thing, but it's also the noise. Like, I have had non-Xianghua players actually tell me that it's this that throws them off. So what really gets me is sometimes I'll just do, or rather, that. I'm not kidding you. I've gotten people with this, right? But let me go back to Full Crouch 3A because I want to talk a little more about that before I get into the metagame. So, sorry, I apologize, getting ahead of myself. So Full Crouch 3A, it's a super good move because even if they block the low and duck the high, yeah, you can get punished, but they're going to have to make that hard read, right? Because it's too fast. You can't. It is considered an unreactable low by definition. I believe it is. I could be wrong, so please don't quote me on it. But I believe it is 18 or 20 frames. Sorry, I'm terrible with frame data. And if you do the instant full crouch, it adds a couple more frames. But it doesn't really matter, again, because of the noise. But again, I'll come back to that. So Full Crouch 3A is super good. 24 damage. You do that 2 times, that's 48 damage. 1 more time, that's... wop. Math is hard. 72 damage. Okay, so 72 damage. That's the same amount of damage as, well, more damage rather, than this. So that was 57 damage with good Oki off of her best launcher. And instead, I just do this twice and maybe an AA. And now I've done very comparable damage, if not more, right? So this move will hit a lot. And it's a double horizontal, so they cannot step this, right? But here's where things start to get tricky. Say you're doing this to the... Oh, and it is negative on hit. That I do know. Say you're doing this a lot, right? And you're hitting the opponent with it. A lot of players will do one of 3 things. First, the opponent will usually go to 2A. Second, the opponent will go to do a jump attack. For argument's sake, let's just do 9B, right? Because it'll hit a crouching opponent. Third, the opponent will just go to duck instinctively because of your follow-ups, which are, again, A and B, both highs, right? So even on hit, opponents will typically flex the duck anyway. But if they flex the duck, they've opened themselves up to two different things, either crouch grab or regular launcher. Now, if they don't duck, what they've done is they've opened themselves up for plus frames because full crouch 3AB is plus on block. But then the A, if they go to step the B because they don't want to take the mix, well, now all of a sudden they have to deal with the A, and there is not enough frames in there to step crouch. That's not a thing. And the last thing to consider, I know I mentioned it already, but would be the jump attacks. So if someone goes to go, hit, and they jump, because they're trying to, the reason they're going to do that is they're making the read on, they're making the read on a crouch grab. Okay, so that is why an opponent will jump against a Xianghua. Like that's like tier 6 of mix-up, but hey, some players are trying to do it to me. And what does that open up for you? Well, you guessed it. Right? Instant full crouch 3k. Wow, okay. Instant full crouch 3k, lethal hit, boom, B, 6BB, into some ludicrous damage, right? Or, if you don't even want to be that risky about it, just boom, 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 boom. Or, boom, boom, 3k. Super good. Super, super good option. Right? Or, BB. Oh. There we go. Right? So you can do any of those things. If you want to get really tricky with people, you can go like this. Right? So, to recap that, if you start doing full crouch 3A a lot, opponents are going to start getting antsy and they're going to want to try crouch blocking. But guess what? It's the same startup noise and animation as full crouch 3B, which is completely safe. So there's also no risk in throwing this out. Because it's a single hit, it's incredibly difficult to step, right? So you check the step with full crouch 3A. You check the crouch with full crouch 3B. And you're now playing Xianghua neutral. Like, I'm not kidding you. You could just win the footsies with these two moves as Xianghua. I'm not kidding you. Like, sometimes that's all it takes. Obviously, punish where you can, but like those two moves together, it's the noise that gets them and the animation of the tech crouch, right? Right? So this is a bit more of the metagame evolving, right? So I'm gonna go back to my original point, which was the over-respecting and like just the way full crouch 3A works. So let's say you're playing a set play and you're conditioning the full crouch 3A. This is going to open up so much. Let's say you open the gate, you start swinging right out of the gate rather, with full crouch 3A, right? And you're doing this a lot against your opponent, right? A lot of 3A maybe as well to kind of change up your timing a little bit. Maybe a little bit of 1K if you notice they're not really stepping. Again, because you condition it with the full crouch 3A. See, there's your trend here. Now what happens is you do this for regular. I don't really do the follow-ups right away. I start with this, right? You do this for a little while. And you start to see what they do. Do you notice that they 2A on hit or block? Do you notice that they will just rock crouch and then like kind of quick twitch duck, right? Do you notice that they're going for the jump attacks? Do you notice that they're just standing there taking the mix? What I suggest you do, and this is my point, because I know I'm kind of dragging this one out a little bit. My point is, if you raw full crouch 3A, just see what they do if you hit them enough times with this, right? I would say maybe 3 to 5, not in a row like this, obviously, but just for demonstration purposes. See what they do. Do they start flexing the 2A? Do they start GIing even? Because that's another thing to, worth mentioning. Or reversal edge, right? You got to play around that a little bit. For the record, if they do go to reversal edge, doing this totally works. Okay, so I will show you to prove that to you. So what you would do is you would go. Sorry, where is? Oh, here we go. Guard the first two. Reversal edge. Right. Oh. Anyway, you get the idea. It works. You can feel free to lab it. Anyway, So yeah, this kind of 3A in a nutshell, right, is it does good damage. It's a super good poke. You're already playing in this up close range anyway. It is a horizontal. It's a natural combo. It has the same sound and startup animation as Full Crouch 3B. So you know you're giving them a mix up in that regard. And the follow-ups will give you combos, right? If you hit the B, you get a grab or CE, right? Like this, boom. And if you hit the A, that's just pretty good damage and all, again, plus frames. So if they go to step, Full Crouch 3A catches them. If they go to duck, Full Crouch 3A, crouch throw, or launcher. And if you want to get really cheeky, if you think they're like 2A heavy, you can do boom, 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 and that also works. Okay, so those are just some options for you with Full Crouch 3A. Learn it, live it, love it, spam it. I'm telling you, Stronghold players are sleeping on this attack. It's not being used enough. When I'm playing at home on ranked, I try to actually use it less, strictly for the purposes of practicing without it, right? Because there might be a world where it's just not conditioning the opponent, it's not working, they're blocking it all the time, things like that. So I do try to use it a little less when I'm at home, admittedly, but offline tournament, hell yeah, you can see me spam this all day long. All day long. This is so good. It's so good. Alright? So I hope that kind of just, I don't know, maybe raises awareness of Full Crouch 3A, if anything. But the big thing to note is, again, the block and the animation and the noise. That's what gets people. And it really does get people. That's why you almost would rather the guard noise come out as opposed to not. Alright? Well, thanks for watching, guys. I hope that helped. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a great rest of your day.